Well, hello there. How is everyone? You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. You're looking absolutely amazing on this stupendous Sunday. Yes, that's right. It's Sunday. We're going to get straight into the meat and potatoes as it's Sunday. And I'm sure you've got better things to do than to listen to me ramble on about what we're about to ramble on about. Which is, of course, Erika, the one-eyed crier Kirk. As she has come out and actually said something partially on board with what we're saying. And I wonder whether she's saying it because she is on our side. Perhaps she is in a way compromised, so she's got to be smart about how she comes out and say things. Or through stupidity, who knows? It's always possible. You can't rule out stupidity, but let's get into it and have a look at what they're saying, shall we? I'll go on to this one here. So it says, Erika Kirk rejects idea of banning cameras in trial of her husband's alleged assassin. Let everyone see what true evil is. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think we do need to see what true evil is. But is true evil Tyler Robinson? That's the big question here, isn't it? Or is there something else that truly is the evil around this case? And is, in fact, the hiding of everything an attempt to shift the blame onto someone else, a patsy, if you will? So it says, Tyler Robinson faces aggravated murder and other charges in September 10th shooting of Charlie Kirk. It says, Erika Kirk says the public deserves to see what true evil is, rejecting defense efforts to block cameras from the trial of a man accused of killing her husband, conservative activist Charlie Kirk. There were cameras all over my husband when he was murdered, Kirk told Fox News' Jesse Waters in a clip posted on X. Let's just get rid of that. It says 4th District Judge Tony Graff ruled on October 27th that news outlets may not show Robinson's shackles but decline to issue broader limits. It says calling the case as media attention extraordinary. The Utah News Dispatch reported. And Robinson's attorneys argue the publicity could threaten his right to a fair trial. I think that ship has well and truly sailed, don't you? And if anything, you can look at a multitude of cases, case in point, the Idaho 4 case. Look at what gag orders did to that case. It completely destroyed the entire case and arguably sent a wrong person to incarceration. Obviously, that's quite a statement to make, but I feel that we are in a position with the Idaho 4 case that we've watched somebody out of left field from nowhere say that he did that crime and get punished for doing so, and simultaneously watched Idaho, that is a state that carries the death penalty. They had upgraded their firing squad chamber to the tune of around $1 million. And lo and behold, at the last minute, they decide that they're not going to push forward with the death penalty either, which is a telling indication that perhaps the case wasn't as strong as you would think. But we do have the knife sheath, which we're going to talk about later in video 2. So it says, so the defendant's appearance is no longer the subject of interest. The right in the coverage should be curtailed, So the defendant's appearance is no longer the subject of interest. 22-year-old faces aggravated murder and other charges in the September 10th shooting of Charlie Kirk in Utah Valley University. Prosecutors plan to seek the death penalty if he's convicted. I'd be interested to see if this does go the exact same way as the Idaho 4. I don't think there will be a death penalty in this. I don't. I believe there will be a deal. I think there will be a deal. And this is problematic. It's too often that these type of cases, and in fact more obscure cases, that end in plea deals as people are getting leveraged and they're told basically, look, you can either roll the dice and potentially be executed, or you can just take this one on the chin and stay alive. Stay alive. They could perhaps, behind closed doors, offer them other things, like they'll protect them, make sure they're okay. Who knows? I've never been in that position, but I think that there's too many cases that come to fruition and still leave questions unanswered. It should be a case of everything is transparent to when we get to that climax, if you like, we can, with some certainty, believe that the person who has been charged and lost their freedom or life, even, that we're happy that that's the person. It says Judge Graff said his current restrictions strike the proper balance between Mr. Robinson's right to a fair proceeding and the public's right to access and transparency. Do you think? Where is the transparency? Because we have not seen any transparency currently. We have seen nothing but things being hidden. The judge prohibited filming Robinson entering, standing, or leaving the courtroom, but ruled that Robinson could appear in civilian clothing. However, he must remain restrained during hearings for safety reasons. Safety reasons. What? Is he, just in case he's got a rifle tucked down his limpy leg, trouser leg? Who knows? But for safety reasons. What do they think he's going to do? This is, again, manipulation of the public. Even things like this. It's to try to make out that he is indeed the dangerous person that we saw execute Charlie Kirk, when even if he was the person who did it, this seems to have been he'd never had any problems previously. Nothing. There was nothing previously that would even indicate that this was a potential or potentially something that he would even do. Lance Twiggs, on the other hand, he seemed like a raving fucking lunatic. But it says, Monday's virtual hearing followed a closed session last week. Robinson appeared remotely from Utah County Jail with his camera off and spoke only to confirm he could hear the proceedings. Yes, I can, he said. Well, yes, I can, someone said, but we don't know if it was him because we haven't seen him. Even his camera was off. How is that going to assist transparency and the way that the judicial system should operate when he's not going into the courtrooms, and when he's appearing remotely, he's not even appearing remotely? There's just a voice. Robinson is scheduled to return to court in person on January 16th. We shall see how that works. But I find it interesting that Erika Kirk is indeed, at this stage, kind of on our side, saying, yes, there should be transparency. All of the cameras were on Charlie when he lost his life. There should be all the cameras on this situation. And I think that that's a very, very valid point to make. And it does raise a question now as to whether, like I say, Erika Kirk, does she truly believe that Tyler Robinson is the individual who did this, and she just wants there to be transparency in the world, being able to see who this individual is, so at the end of it, all of the rumour mill subsides and people who have potentially been wrongfully pointed the finger at can move on with their lives without any kind of, side-eyeing to them? Or is she being strategic? Is she being strategic to say, look, I'm not on board with there being no transparency and things being hidden. I think that everything should be seen, because she knows that there are things that are not being shown. It's interesting, and I suppose time will be the indicator in this. Let me know what you think, and I shall catch you all later on today. Oh.